The last time we came to you from this very location was 363 days ago. A whole lot has changed throughout this entire universe in the last 363 days, but one thing, my friends, has not changed. That is that the man to my right
is still an asshole.
And he is still the reigning and defending WWE champion. He is, of course, CM Punk. Hello again.
Well, hello.
Good to see you. Did you remember that it was 363 days
I
ago?
wouldn't have guessed it was 363, but I knew it was a year ago. It's cold out. We're in Chicago. Yeah.
UFC on Fox. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a yearly tradition. UFC on Fox and a Helwani Punk interview.
Absolutely.
The people ask for it.
Let's go ahead and make it every time they come to Chicago. We'll do one of these.
It's a date.
All right.
Well, good to see you. I want to ask, before we get, everyone knows you're a big MMA fan, UFC fan. Before we get to all of that, how has the last year been for you? I know you were on my show, but we weren't very reflective. I'm wondering, has this been a good year for you since we last talked?
I think every day above ground is a good day. So yeah, I mean, I'm alive. It's been a blur, I mean, I'm in a different city every day. So it's been an exciting year. I think when I look back career-wise, yeah, this has probably been my best year.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not really one to really look back on stuff and think, oh, that could have been better. This could have. I wish this was something more than it was. I just kind of always got my eyes forward. So, but career-wise, yeah, I mean, you can't complain when you've been champ for over a year.
You have maybe 72 hours or so before you step inside the ring with one of the greatest of all time, right? We can agree on that.
Oh, sure.
This is a massive match for you. And for those that don't know, CM Punk will be defending his WWE Championship Sunday night at the Royal Rumble against the one and only The Rock.
Yeah.
First time you wrestle The Rock. Mm-hmm. Big deal for you. It's been building for weeks. What's going through your mind when you have not just your average fight, your average pay-per-view? This is a biggie. What's going through your mind in the next 72? Are you already in the zone? Are you already in Phoenix?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, like everything else in my life, takes a back seat to my job. Because I think to compete at this level, you have to be 100% dedicated. So obviously, a lot of eyes are on the product now because Rock's back. For a limited time or whatever, but a lot of new eyes are on the product. So to me, it's I'm wrestling like it's the first time everybody tuning in is seeing me. So I got to be, my best. I got to be better than he is. And I don't think that's going to be an easy feat, but I definitely think it's doable.
Do you think you're better than he is?
Yeah, I think. People ask that question a lot, like the whole best in the world thing. I call myself the best in the world, and I really think if I didn't think that, I wouldn't do this anymore. I think if anybody, pro wrestling or fight-wise, doesn't think, you can't step into the ring or cage with somebody and think, well, this guy's, man, he's really better than me, because you've already lost. Obviously my sport is a little bit different than MMA, but yeah, my objective is to not only be better than the guy I'm wrestling, is to be better than everybody on the card, steal the show, so to speak, be the most entertaining thing, be the one thing people talk about when they leave, so, he hasn't wrestled in, a year, I wrestle 4 days a week, so I think whereas I have my work cut out for me, so does he.
Are you better than he was? Because it's, there's no denying, at one time he was much better than he is now, only because he doesn't do this as often. When he was at the top, that guy versus this guy, who's better?
It's apples and oranges, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think I take this more seriously than he does or ever has, and that's not an insult. I just, I'm more of a purist, you know what I mean? I know different styles. I've wrestled all around the world, and he's been a WWE guy. So within that mold, within being a WWE guy, I think he's one of the greatest of all time, absolutely. But you take him out of his comfort zone. I'm not saying he knows less than I do, trying to vocalize this the right way. I just, I'd be doing myself a disservice if I didn't think I was better than him.
Watching you guys side by side working, it is so clear, and maybe I am biased, I will admit that you are in different leagues right now as far as the passion, the emotion that you bring out in the people. His act is, we've seen it, right? When you're in there with him, Do you feel like he's on your level? Is he bringing the same heat, so to speak, that you are?
I think regardless of who I'm in the ring with, I don't wrestle down or talk down. You know what I mean? Like, I always force people to come up, whether it's, you know, Cena or whether it's Ryback or, you know, whatever. I'm never going to dumb my stuff down or, you know, try to wrestle a simpler style. You know, you sink or you swim. You either get in the ring with me and you keep up, or you don't. You know, I think a lot of guys like that. I think John Cena is one of them. You know, and hopefully, you know, I haven't wrestled him. I haven't wrestled The Rock, but I've been in the ring with him and we've done the promo thing, and I like what we've done so far. You know, I wasn't, you know, you read on Twitter and some fans think I won, some fans think he won. That's great.
That's good.
That's what people are talking
Right.
about, you know what I mean? But like the fact that I don't think it was like a landslide, you know, victory either way, I think it just kind of makes people question what really is going to happen on Sunday, and hopefully they tune in and watch it.
So right now in your career, I mean, are you happy with the evolution of your character, the evolution of your place in the company? Are you happy with your spot? Because with you in particular, it seems like everyone's always worried for you. That's the impression I get, because you maybe blur the line. Sometimes we don't know, you know, how you're feeling. Sometimes you come across very upset. Are you happy?
Yeah, absolutely. If I wasn't happy, I would change whatever made me unhappy. You know, I just think I have a different level of passionate fans than some people. You know what I mean? I've had fans that have followed me since I was wrestling in armories in like 2000. You know what I mean? So they really have like an emotional attachment. So they're going to be more vocal about stuff, and you know, a lot. The benefit of being in pro wrestling is I do get to mess with people. I do get to blur the lines, you know. So when I tweet something like, you know, oh, I'm not on the poster for WrestleMania, you know what I mean? There's millions of people who are going to flip their shit and be like, yeah, he's not, God,
Right.
man, that's it, you know. And it just so happens that it fits what I'm doing on television, and it's great, you know. And you know, behind the scenes, yeah, I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a little bit like, huh, okay, so you got a bunch of part-timers on the poster, but you know, it's a business. I have no control over that. They're going to sell it however they want to sell it. You know, my job is just to show up and, you know, outdo the guys that are on the poster, and then go, yeah, I guess you should have put me on the poster. You know, what are you going to do?
Why is it okay to be a fan of CM Punk? Why is it okay for someone in MMA? It's okay for us to say we're fans of yours, but God forbid we say we're a fan of Ryback. God forbid we say, why is it, you get this a lot, right? Why is it okay for everyone to be a fan of yours? Why do you have that connection? Why are you sort of off to the side and everyone else is
I don't know.
still
This is news to me.
This is 100%.
I still get it all the time. You know, there's still the staunch MMA. You can't even call them purists. Half of them watching since, you know, UFC debuted on Fox.
Right.
They know it all.
Die hard.
You can't like pro wrestling because it's fake, and you know, they'll never see the parallels between my business and MMA. They'll never realize that, like, you know, pro wrestling started just like MMA. It was the toughest guys, and one of them got smart and said, "Hey, instead of really beating the crap out of me, you know what? I'm just going to let you win. I'm going to get more money than you." And that guy was probably like, "Oh, I'm going to win. That's cool." And what's more valuable to you? You know, the money, or the prestige of being the toughest guy. But I don't know if it's okay to be a fan of me if you like MMA. There's still always going to be those people who, you know, what I do is what I do. I'm a fake ass wrestler, you know. I don't know, but for those who do like me, why it's okay, I have no idea.
Recently, John Jones, the light heavyweight champion, was on Opie and Anthony, and he called you MC Punk. They were talking about.
I do DJ on Wednesday nights.
I found out via Twitter.
Yeah, see.
Now, was that John Jones taking a subtle shot at you because you were critical of him? You know, last year when he had some troubles, did you view that as him just being ignorant or him taking a shot at you?
I don't know if anybody would willingly portray ignorance, but I don't know. I didn't take it as a shot. I thought it was funny. I do get that a lot.
And your friend Chael Sonnen stood up for you, right? That you do get that. Yeah. I've never heard that one.
Well, I think he might be dyslexic. Is John Jones dyslexic?
I don't know.
It would help that his initials are the same.
That's true. But Chael did stick up for you rather quickly, came to your defense.
So did Jim Norton.
Yeah.
My good friends.
They all did. Yeah, they all did. I want to ask you about that because it's something I talked to Dana White about today. Chael Sonnen and Jon Jones are going to fight on April 27th. They are coaches on The Ultimate Fighter. We got this scenario because Chael Sonnen said a lot of things about Jon Jones, and then Jon said a lot of things about Chael. Now we see them in interviews, and they seem like best friends. You know, they're hanging out, they're talking. This is what your world is all about, conflict, right? I want to see this guy beat this guy up. Is this a problem? Someone watching on the outside, you're friends with Chael, you have to tell him, hey, and he gets it, you know, he doesn't need our advice, but that could be a problem, right, for business.
It might be. I mean, you know, I think fights that are more interesting than most, there's an issue. I hate this guy. I do think there might be a little bit of a disconnect with the larger audience if they see guys palling around, unless they're best friends. They do the whole, no, we're in the same camp, we're in the same weight division, I don't want to fight, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, now I want to see that fight. You know what I mean? I want to see Cain Velasquez and Cormier fight.
You do too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I want to see it as well.
Sure, I want to see the best guys fight the best guys.
Right.
You know, I don't care who's friends. You're a fighter. It's your job. It is a business. You know, fight. But it opens up all kinds of different scenarios. You know, people dropping weight, going to different weight classes, just so they don't have to fight somebody. I think the general public, you know, the general population, they like it better when it's more of a GSP Nick Diaz thing, you know. Oh, those two hate each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? The buzz about me and Rock is we can't stand each other, and I hate him because he's a part-time wrestler and he's coming back, and you know, that's great. Whatever generates more business and more dollars in your pocket, that's a good thing, and that's always what Chael has understood.
How much MMA are you watching these days?
As much as I can get.
It blows my mind that
I mean, I recently, when last time I was home, 3-4 weeks ago, I can't even remember, maybe it was before Christmas. I can't even remember if it was before or after my knee surgery. I went to, they had the Bellator fights
right
out here. I think that was my first MMA fight that I went to live.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never been to a UFC?
Nope.
Of course, you were supposed to go last year, walk out Chael.
Yeah.
Are you going this Saturday?
I don't know yet. If I do, I'm going to probably have to charter my own damn flight to Phoenix.
Right.
Because, you know, it's not an office thing. It's just a me wanting to get there and just be there. You know, it's very much a pro wrestler thing. You get to the next town that night. You know,
right.
Regardless of whether you have to drive 750 miles, you get there. So I definitely don't want to fly out Sunday morning, the day of the show, just in case, you know, all the planes magically disappear.
Right.
You know.
But what did you think of Bellator Live? Did you? I mean, obviously you have nothing to compare it to.
I got to see my friend Felice fight.
Right.
That was cool. You know, it was just a different atmosphere than watching it at home. Actually, just sitting there and seeing the cage and stuff like that.
It always surprises me how much you watch. You know, you're talking about a random fuel card and the undercard, and you're taping this and that. You're watching the weigh-ins.
I get pissed when my DVR doesn't record stuff, like real mad. I'll have it'll record like the 6 replays of UFC tonight, but it won't record like the prelims or something like that, and I just get pissed.
I appreciate you watching UFC tonight, or at least taping it.
No problem.
You may not be watching it, but
I watch everything. I'm a nerd.
Who's your favorite guy right now, other than Chael?
Fighter?
Yeah. Well, what are you liking
boy.
right now in MMA? Which story? Which fight? Which beef? Which conflict? What are you liking right now? What's getting you excited?
I'm looking forward to GSP Nick Diaz.
You are?
Yeah. What else?
Do you think Nick can hang with him?
Can he hang with him?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah?
Can he beat him? I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think he can hang. Because I always think GSP's problem is, when's the last time he's finished a guy?
Right.
You know?
It was probably Matt Serra, UFC 83.
Yeah, so that was a long time ago. So I'm a Carlos Condit fan. That's why I'm looking forward to that pay-per-view too.
What do you think of Rory McDonald?
I think Rory McDonald's nuts for... He's just got this personal beef with Carlos Condit for no reason.
He's like the American Psycho or the Canadian Psycho.
Just because he beat him. And I can get that. I can get behind that, you know, but he seems like
But you notice his transformation. I don't know if you notice this, but it seems like to me a lot of guys, maybe unknowingly, are stealing things from pro wrestling these days. It's come full circle. I think we lost it, and now with, obviously Chael, and I think Rory is very much a pro wrestler, the way, he dresses and things like that. I mean, a lot of guys are going that route. Even John, on that Opie and Anthony interview, was saying he started to watch wrestling to learn a thing or two. Is that a compliment? Is it now coming full circle?
They're so similar. What I do and what the fighters do, and I think it's the stark differences are obviously when the cage door closes, or when the bell rings. Those are, but everything else, the promotion, personality, having character, selling a fight. I think a lot of guys can steal a lot of things from pro wrestling. Definitely.
How's the knee?
Knee's all right.
Yeah. How'd you come back so quickly?
I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have come back this quickly?
Probably not.
No. Do you feel the effects of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
It looks like I have a second kneecap on my
Really?
knee. Yeah, scar tissue and stuff like that.
Will you need to take time off at some point?
Need?
Do you want to?
I would love to.
Really?
Yeah, but
maybe after April? You can take time off now, right? This is the most important.
I can technically do what I want, but
right.
I don't know if April is this is the season to try to take time off.
Right.
WrestleMania and everything like that, biggest show of the year, biggest money making show of the year. Obviously, you want a piece of that.
How close to 100% are you right now?
I mean, I don't think I was 100% before my surgery. You know what I mean? My knee is definitely better now than it was. I tore my knee up in September against John Cena in Boston Gardens. So it's better now than it was, but I mean, that's a relative term. I don't know what 100% means anymore.
How's the jiu-jitsu?
Good.
Yeah, I saw you rolling with Henry Gracie. You're sporting the Gracie sweatshirt.
Yeah.
You were even rolling with Ed O'Neill,
Yep.
or at least took a picture with him.
It's pretty wild, yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah. He was rolling with Horian,
Really?
Henry's father, at the same time I was in there, so.
Henry Gracie tweeted recently, if all my students could be like CM Punk. Come on.
I don't know what that means.
What kind of a that's an amazing compliment.
I agree, but I just think he appreciates that I wear the Gracie stuff when I'm on Monday Night Raw.
What belt are you at now? Black? Red?
Yes, I'm a 12th degree red belt.
Wow.
Yes.
Are you doing it often, or is it tough with the knee, the schedule? I mean, how often do you get to do it?
I've explained this many times. I'm weird about rolling with people I don't know.
Of course.
And
I thought Henner just flies around with you now.
I'm about to start. I'm gonna put him on the payroll.
Right.
As soon as he learns how to cook, and he can be my
your guru. He could be a life
sensei
coach.
Sensei slash chef.
Right.
No, I'm not. I don't know. Belts. I don't know. What do you walk into somebody else's house? You wear a belt that you got from somebody else. I just wear whatever spare gi and belt is laying around, and I don't necessarily do it for a belt or whatever. I just I do it for me.
Okay, let's wrap up. I just want to ask you a couple quick things. UFC on Fox 6 is this weekend. You still don't know if you will be there, but it is in your hometown, United Center. And I just want to get quick picks. Everyone loves predictions, right?
Loves them.
I mean,
absolutely.
John Dodson versus Demetrius Johnson for the flyweights. And by the way, are you a fan of the flyweights?
I don't want to say I'm not.
It's a touchy subject these days.
Is it really?
Very touchy. A lot of fans don't like them. They haven't even promoted the word flyweight in the commercial. They've taken that out.
Oh, it's like people. It's a channel changer.
I guess.
No, I mean, anybody who gets in there in the octagon to fight, I'm a fan of. There's obviously, I think, weight classes I enjoy watching more. Like everybody likes the heavyweights,
sure,
right? Because the heavyweights will knock somebody out. So I would assume that the problem with the general population in the flyweights is you don't see a lot of spectacular knockouts. These are the fights. They're more like a war of attrition. There's two guys. They're lightning fast, and but that to me is the appeal of it. It's a chess battle. You know what I mean? It's interesting to watch. And both those guys are ridiculously fast. I know they're trying to promote that. Is it Dotson has the knockout power that a lot of flyweights don't have? So it's going to be interesting to see. I like Demetrius. So.
Mighty Mouse, you go with the champ. Champ goes with the champ.
I'm going to go with him.
By the way, tangent. Are you a fan of women's MMA? Ronda Rousey, all that?
Love it.
You're on it. You're
Absolutely.
on that. You're that train. Okay. Because that also is a bit of a touchy subject these days.
People are weird.
Yeah.
Man. People are fucking weird.
They are. Okay. Rampage Jackson says he's done.
Let me just say this about women. Women, by far, when it's crunch time and their back is against the wall, more often than not are tougher than most men.
Agreed.
I mean, it's just moving on.
Okay. Rampage Jackson, dare I say, is pulling a CM Punk right now. He says,
He doesn't give.
I mean, he was at the press conference today playing on his PSP or PSV, whatever they call it. He says he's done. He doesn't care. He's wearing the sponsors that they won't allow him to wear. I mean, it's very reminiscent of a couple of years ago.
I like it.
That's dangerous, though. If you're one step out the door, that can mean trouble for you, often in this world. Who do you like, Rampage or Glover?
Well, Rampage has always been kind of wacky.
Yes.
I think Rampage is going to want to stand, and Glover is going to, try to win. So to me, that means he's going to take him down. I'll pick Glover.
Okay. Showtime Pettis, very talented.
This is the one I'm excited about.
Everyone loves this one.
Yeah.
Against Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah, that's an interesting fight. And man, if there was, I don't think there's a harder one to really take a bet on. This is one that I wish was 5 rounds. Because I don't think 3 is enough. I don't see either guy finishing any of the guys. And it's interesting because when Cerrone fought Nate Diaz, it was like a completely different Donald Cerrone. You know what I mean? Like he kind of got tooled. But then he, KOs Melvin Gillard. Say his last name?
Guillard. It is Guillard in the French way, but it's Gillard.
Is he
he's from
Canadian?
New Orleans. No, but it's French. But it should be Gillard in his world.
And Pettis is he's a Milwaukee boy, so close to being a Chicago guy.
Yeah.
I almost don't want to bet against him, but strictly a gut feeling. Cerrone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of Chicago versus Milwaukee, we got that in the fourth fight of the night. Eric Koch versus Ricardo Lamas. Who do you like?
I don't know a whole lot about Lamas. I know way more
Chicago
about
boy.
Koch. Yeah, I know. So
it's a no-brainer.
Even though I don't know anything about him, I gotta go with Lamas.
I gotta ask you
Chicago.
this before we go. How great has it been working with a guy who I feel privileged to call a friend as well, Paul Heyman? What's that been like?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's funny. Like every week after we do TV or whatever, he texts me or I text him. We're flying home or whatever, and we text each other just. Thanks for last night. Like, what a pleasure it is working with each other. It's just a situation where the both of us never thought we'd get to work with each other again. Worked extensively in 2005 down in Louisville, and he's the whole reason I'm where I'm at today. And I've publicly said that many times. So get to work with him. It's fun because he never got the opportunity to be out there with me while I'm wrestling. So it's kind of opened his eyes to how much I goof off when I'm out there. I'll be looking at him and yelling at him and saying stuff and kind of keeping everybody on their toes, and he enjoys it almost as much as I do.
I pride myself on being very impartial when doing my job, being an MMA reporter, but when I step into your world or other worlds, I allow myself to be a quote-unquote fanboy, if you will. That being said, do me a favor. Sunday, retain. Come April, in my backyard. Hopefully I'll be there. Beat the streak. Go down as the greatest.
You got it.
Can you do that for me?
Absolutely, 100%.
All right.
Consider it done.
The Royal Rumble goes down this Sunday night. It is live on pay-per-view. It's going down in Phoenix, Arizona. The best in the world goes up against the Brahma Bull, CM Punk versus The Rock, of course, Saturday night. It's UFC on Fox 6 here in his hometown of Chicago, Illinois. Always a pleasure, an honor, really. Good luck on Sunday. We will be watching. Can't wait for it.
Luck's for losers.